The Shaolin Temple is a very famous place in China. It is located on Song Mountain, in Henan province. This mountain is beautiful, with many trees and old wise-looking rocks. The temple has been there for a very long time, more than 1,500 years. It is not just a building, it is a home for Buddhist monks and the birthplace of a special kind of kung fu. Many people think of Shaolin, and they think of fighting, of crazy stunts like I do in my movies. But it is much more than that. It is a place of peace, of learning, and of finding balance in yourself. The history is deep, like a big ancient river that has seen everything. The men who live at the Shaolin Temple are called monks. They are not just fighters, they are scholars and spiritual people. They shave their heads and wear simple robes, which is a way to show they are not attached to worldly things. Their training in martial arts, what we call Shaolin Kung Fu, is incredible. It is not about learning to win a street fight. It is about discipline for the mind and the body. They practice for many hours every single day, starting when they are very young boys. They learn to be strong, fast, and flexible. Their movements are often inspired by animals like the tiger, the crane, or the snake. It takes a lifetime of hard work to master these skills. Life for a Shaolin monk is very simple and very strict. They wake up before the sun comes up, sometimes at 4 or 5 in the morning. Their day is filled with chores, meditation, studying Buddhist teachings, and of course, many hours of kung fu practice. They eat simple vegetarian meals because their beliefs teach them not to harm any living creatures. This simple life helps them focus their minds and build inner strength. It is not an easy life. It requires great dedication and a pure heart. This is very different from making movies, where we get to rest and have a big lunch. For them, every action is a form of training. The values of a Shaolin monk are very important. They follow the teachings of Buddhism, which emphasize compassion, patience, and humility. They believe in protecting the weak and using their martial arts only for defense, never to show off or to hurt people for no reason. This is the true spirit of Kung Fu. It is not about who can punch the hardest, but who has the strongest spirit and the kindest heart. Their goal is to achieve enlightenment, which is a state of perfect peace and understanding. The Kung Fu is just one tool to help them on this long and difficult journey of self-discovery. Now, let's travel from China to Japan and talk about someone very different, the ninja. When you hear the word ninja, you probably think of men in black clothes, moving silently in the dark. And you are not wrong. Ninjas, also known as shinobi, were secret agents and spies in feudal Japan. They were experts in espionage, sabotage, and assassination. They did not belong to a temple. Instead, they often belonged to secret clans or were hired by powerful lords called daimyo to do the jobs that samurai warriors could not do. Their work was always done in secret, and their existence was often a mystery. They were the masters of surprise. The training of a ninja was incredibly difficult and covered many different skills. They learned a special martial art called the nenjutso. This was not just about fighting with their hands and feet. It involved learning how to use many different weapons, like the famous throwing stars, or shuriken, and special swords. They also had to be masters of disguise, able to pretend to be a farmer, a priest, or a merchant to get information. They learned how to climb walls, how to move without making a sound, and how to use explosives and poisons. Their training was all about survival and completing the mission, no matter what. Unlike the Shaolin monks who lived openly in a temple, ninjas lived in the shadows. Their identity was their most important secret. If a ninja was caught, he would face terrible consequences, so they had to be very smart and very careful. Their missions were often very dangerous. They might have to sneak into an enemy castle to gather information, set a fire to create a distraction, or even carry out a secret attack. They used clever tools to help them, like grappling hooks for climbing and smoke bombs to help them escape. A ninja's greatest weapon was not his sword, but his mind and his ability to disappear. The core beliefs of a ninja were very practical and focused on the mission. Their primary value was loyalty to their clan or their employer. They did not fight for honor in the same way a samurai did. For a ninja, success was everything. Getting the job done without being seen or caught was the ultimate goal. This sometimes meant they had to do things that others would see as dishonorable. But in their world, the world of shadows and secrets, these actions were necessary for survival and for serving their lord. They were the unseen protectors and troubleshooters of their time. When you compare a Shaolin monk and a ninja, you see many differences, but also some surprising similarities. Their history is the first big difference. The Shaolin Temple was a public religious institution dedicated to Buddhism. Its purpose was spiritual growth. Ninjas, on the other hand, came from secret clans, and their history is much harder to trace. They were a military and intelligence force, not a religious group. The monk's path was one of peace and enlightenment, while the ninja's path was one of conflict and espionage. One lived in the light of spiritual practice. The other operated in the darkness of secret missions. Their training methods also show a big contrast. The Shaolin monks' Kung Fu is a form of moving meditation, designed to build health, discipline, and protect the temple. It is an art form that is beautiful to watch. Ninja training, or ninjutsu, was purely practical. Every technique was for infiltration, spying, or survival. While a monk might practice a form hundreds of times to perfect it, a ninja would practice how to silently climb a wall or create a diversion. The monk's goal was inner perfection. The ninja's goal was mission success. One trains the spirit, the other trains for the mission. Even their values were almost opposite. A Shaolin monk follows a strict moral code of compassion and non-violence, using their skills only as a last resort for defense. They seek to harm no living thing. A ninja's code was centered on loyalty and completing the mission, even if it required deception, sabotage, or assassination. A monk would never lie or steal. For a ninja, lying and stealing were essential skills of their trade. It is like the difference between a guard dog that protects its home and a secret agent that sneaks into someone else's home. But here is where they are similar. Both required incredible discipline, physical skill, and mental strength. Both the monk and the ninja had to be masters of their own bodies and minds. They both spent their entire lives training to reach the peak of their abilities. Both had to understand their environment and use it to their advantage. And both have become legends. They represent two different kinds of power. The monk's power comes from inner peace and spiritual strength, while the ninja's power comes from secrecy and strategic cunning. Both are respected for their dedication and skill. The Shaolin Temple and the art of ninjutsu have had a huge impact on East Asian culture, and now the whole world. The Shaolin Temple is not just a piece of Chinese history. It is a symbol of Chinese culture itself. It represents the combination of philosophy, Buddhism, and physical power, Kung Fu. It has inspired countless stories, movies, and even video games. In the same way, the ninja has become a powerful icon in Japanese culture. They represent a different side of the warrior ideal, one that values intelligence and strategy over brute force. Both have shaped how the world sees martial arts. Today, on August 3rd, 2025, these legends are more popular than ever. Why? Because they represent something we all admire. The Shaolin monks show us the power of discipline and peace. In a world that is so busy and loud, their simple life and search for inner calm is very appealing. They teach us that true strength is not just about physical power, but about controlling your own mind. We see their amazing skills and know it comes from a lifetime of hard work, and that is inspiring for everyone, not just martial artists. They are real-life superheroes who get their power from within. And the ninjas? We love them because they are mysterious and cool. They are the ultimate spies, able to do the impossible. The idea of a secret warrior who moves like a ghost and uses clever gadgets is exciting. It sparks our imagination. In stories, ninjas are often the underdog who uses their brain to defeat a much stronger enemy. We admire their resourcefulness, their intelligence, and their ability to overcome any obstacle. They are masters of strategy, and who doesn't like a hero who is always one step ahead of the bad guys? In the end, both Shaolin monks and ninjas remind us that humans can achieve incredible things through dedication. Whether it is through peaceful meditation and Kung Fu, or through secret training and ninjutsu, they show us the limits of human potential. They are legends that have been passed down for hundreds of years, and their stories continue to excite and inspire us. They are a big part of why I love martial arts and making movies. They show us that with hard work and a strong spirit, you can do anything, and that is a lesson that will never get old.